So hello, namaste, namaskar, welcome. Sunday afternoon, 12:30 in India. Good morning or maybe even good evening in whichever part of the world you are joining us from. My name is Deepak R. Khemani and I am one of the co-founders of Bloom. I take this opportunity to wish you happy Ganesh Chaturthi and welcome you to the 212th non-stop Sunday Bloom Talk Show. Ever since we started in the first week of September 2020, for 212 weeks non-stop, be it rain or shine, be it online or offline, we have been there on that Sunday afternoon, meeting people, talking to people. They can be leaders, they can be athletes, they can be doctors, healers, trainers, coaches, speakers, name them, and they have graced our platform. Continuing that tradition, we have with us a very special guest with us today. We have Chimmu Kutty. And let me read a few things about Chimmu and then we will ask her to tell us a little bit more about herself. Chimmu Kutty is an author and a speaker who focuses on building confidence. She shares tips and techniques for maintaining deep levels of confidence through her keynotes, writing, and her YouTube channel. She has authored two books on building confidence at work. This year, Chimmu has received the prestigious Blue LinkedIn Top Voice badge. Wow, congratulations, Chimmu. She started her career as a banker. She's also a CFP, a certified financial planner. So I know where she's coming from. We do something very, very similar. After quitting the bank, she became a soft skills trainer and now she is an executive coach and a professional speaker. She has been a member of the Toastmasters for 10 years and she is a double DTM. From her speaking and coaching experience, Chimmu has come across clients facing communication issues in not being able to articulate thoughts clearly. She has seen firsthand how crippling it can be to let this overtake your confidence and self esteem. Today, Chimmu will share us some practical solutions to help us become more confident. Welcome to the show, Chimmu.
Thank you, Deepak. Thank you, Payal. Thank you,
So,
Abhijit, for
tell
giving
us,
me this
what does a
opportunity.
confidence multiplier do?
As stated in my introduction, confidence multiplier helps to boost confidence of people. So it's not that we all lack confidence. It's just that at times, depending on the circumstances and the events, we may feel unsure of ourselves. We may not have that belief that we can do things. And that's when we feel low confidence, self doubt comes. At those times, I step in and help you to uncover and see what the confidence which is already there inside you. So I multiply your confidence.
Wonderful. Confidence multiplier. But how do we define confidence? Is it the ability to stand up and speak in front of people? Is it the ability of you knowing that, I am experienced at my art, at my craft, at my subject, at I can speak on it, I can help others, I can teach others. What exactly does confidence mean?
Very interesting and basic question that anybody asks, like what is confidence and why is it so important?
Yeah.
So confidence is the our belief in our abilities. That is one part of it. The other part is our trust, knowing that we have the ability, capability to handle any challenges that life gives us. So it's a combination of these two. When both are high, when we trust in ourselves, when we know that we can do whatever comes our way, then it comes together to form confidence.
So, how is competency related to confidence? Are they same? Are they different? Or does competency come with confidence? Or confidence comes with competency? How does that work?
So if I were to, define competency, competency is your knowledge about a certain topic, subject, tool, whatever it is. So competencies is built with knowledge. And does it mean, so now comes the question, if I have low confidence but high competency, will I be successful?
Yeah.
You will, because whatever job you are supposed to do, if you know how to do it, that's all you need to do. You will become successful.
Yeah.
So confidence, having the belief that your knowledge, your competency is there, builds your confidence and makes you more successful whenever you take action.
Hmm. So, is there a way we can measure confidence? Fairly confident, partly confident, or fully confident? How do we decide? And actually, who decides that?
So that's a very, actually, it's a very fair question because confidence is something which is internal and it is not seen anywhere external. And how do I know that my confidence has gone up? And how can I tell that from 5 I became 8? So, confidence, according to me, is measured by actions. So, if I were to say that I started out here very timid, not knowing how to take a decision, how to speak well, these are how low confidence presents itself in indecision, in not taking action or hesitating, and not even able to speak out, communicate. So these are the outward manifestations of low confidence, not putting yourself forward, self doubt. So when you start to build confidence, right? These are the areas which show up very clearly. You take decisions, you act, and that shows you that your confidence has gone up.
So that is really interesting, because sometimes, in fact, many times life puts you in such situations where you may be competent to take a decision, but you are not confident enough to take a decision because you are, taking or wanting to take care of so many factors. Am I hurting this person or this company or this association? Will me by doing this or not doing this affect them? At what point do you decide that your decision was correct? Even though you were confident and you were capable both. How does that work?
So let me relate my own life story so that it shows, this trajectory of just what you spoke about right now. Being competent, not having confidence, and when is the point that these two meet and you take action.
Yes.
So, as you know, I was working in a bank and I decided that, enough is enough. I want to quit the bank. So I was very sure in my mind that I want to quit the bank. But then one day I told my family, okay, I want to quit the bank. So immediately I said that somebody would turn around and say, "Hey, are you daft? Nobody quits the bank. Keep quiet. Stay in the bank."
Who
So
leaves
I
a bank
subsided.
job? Yeah.
So I subside. Once again, I subside. I say, okay, maybe they are right. I should stay in the bank. But
Yes.
after some time, again, that feeling comes. I want to quit. Again, I'll say. Somebody will say, again, I'll come down. Okay. So I knew that I wanted to quit. But the belief, that I could quit or I did not see myself quitting because I was looking outside for validation. I wanted
Hmm.
somebody to tell me, yes, you quit,
Yes.
no problem. But nobody was telling me that. So now what happens? There is a time when within you, within you, there reaches a point where the belief that you can do it equals the image that you see. I always saw myself quitting. So when I believed and I saw it so clearly and they became equal, that day when I told my family, I am quitting the bank, they understood that I was not asking, I was
Hmm.
telling. So
Yeah.
that is the difference. When you
Yes.
that belief comes up, then you will be able to act, even though you have competence.
Yes. So, since you shared a story of your life, let me share a story of mine, but it was a little bit earlier. I remember we were in the 10th standard and there was this elocution competition which was planned, which was across Mumbai. So, our principal, vice principal walked into our class and she pointed at me and she said, I choose you. You will go and represent our school on this in this election elocution competition. And I started crying. I said, no, I don't want to go and I don't know what I will do. And please select somebody else. He said, no, 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 nothing doing. I know how good you are. I know you will do justice to the role. And you are selected and you will have to go. And I mean, never been in front of a crowd or a big audience in between. Although had some small tidbits of being on stage, but that confidence wasn't there. I started crying. Next day, also, I went to her office. I said, no, 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 please don't take me. Take somebody else. Finally, she relented, and then somebody else went and represented our school. So there is part two to the story, but my question to you is, she thought that I was competent enough. She was confident that this person will do the job. I wasn't confident enough myself. One, how does one build that confidence, and how does somebody else recognize that this person is competent, or have the confidence in another person telling them, I know you are good, you can go and do this.
It's a very interesting question, Deepak, and which all of us go through. And it's also what I have actually detailed in this book, The Little Big Book of Confidence.
Wow.
So I will just share what I said. There are two types of validations that we seek.
Yeah.
One is internal validation within ourselves, the other is external validation.
Yes.
So, for example, or you are saying that you're going to be a speaker for elocution. Okay. So let's see how society has conditioned all of us. When we are born only, we get a certificate, right? Birth certificate. When we finish 10th standard, one certificate. College, one certificate. When
Yes.
we join the job and we do one course also, it's out there in LinkedIn, that
Yes.
certificate. Now I'm declaring I'm a speaker. Where is
Yeah.
the certificate? Where is that validation? So we are conditioned to look for external validation. If
Yes.
that external validation doesn't come, we are not able to build up our belief that we can do it. That is
Hmm.
one part of it.
Yeah.
Even though external validation is there, like other people look at you and say, I know Deepak can speak well, I can see his potential, I know his talent.
Yeah.
However much they see that and they tell you, you don't believe it because internally nothing is validating your belief that you are a speaker.
Yeah.
So how do you do that, and how to, balance these two and
Yeah.
get better is what I talk about in my book actually.
Yeah. So first internal validation and then external validation, or external validation coming in and telling you that internally what you were thinking was right. It probably works both ways. I told you there is
Yes.
part two of this story, and just 5 years later from this date, where in the 10th standard I ran away from this thing which was allotted to me or I was assigned to. 5 years later, I'm teaching a group of almost 20-30 year experienced teachers. I just finished my engineering, and our principal picked me up and he said, "You are the right person to go and speak to these people." And I spoke with and trained them for 2 days, 9 to 5. And believe you me, at the end of the second day, all the teachers did not do is fall down at my feet and ask me, "How well do you know all this? At this age, how are you able to teach us all this? We've been teaching this for the last 30 years." So, from my input, I always thought that once you have the knowledge and the conviction of a particular subject, it is very, very easy to stand up and speak and probably even teach others. So that is the competency part, I think, which you explained in between. Where did the confidence come from? Is it because of the competency, or you probably had matured enough to say, let me stand up and say my thing? Does it work that way? Does it come over time?
Actually, it's a combination of the two. Competency builds confidence because tomorrow, if somebody asks you to speak, you know that you have the knowledge, you can speak.
Yeah.
That is the first part. The other part, experience builds confidence.
Yeah.
So earlier you may have spoken to two people, three people, five people. That builds up your confidence. You get a well of confidence in you, or
Yes.
I should say, you keep collecting the tokens, and then they are a proof. They are your
Yeah.
social proof. I have done
Yes.
it. So
Yes.
that is the confidence which combines with competence. And then anytime anyone asks you to take a session for anybody, you know that you have the knowledge. You have
Yes.
done it before. You can do
Yeah.
it again.
Yeah. I've always said this before, when people talk to you and ask you what is your expertise, what is the topic you speak on, how competent are you, or how confident are you? I tell them, if you wake me up at 2 o'clock in the night, in the midnight, and ask me to speak on my topic, I will keep on blabbering even without my eyes open. That is confidence. That is the competency test I think people should have as a benchmark. However, at what point does confidence become overconfidence?
And that is a very, very fine line. So, if I go back to the definition of confidence, right? Confidence is your belief in yourself and your abilities. So a realistic belief. Now, if you tell me to walk 10 kilometers, I know I will last, my energy will last to walk 10 kilometers. But if somebody says, okay, let's do, 20, come on, you can do it, yeah. And I want to prove myself, but I have no idea of my ability.
Yeah.
That is overconfidence.
Yeah.
Overconfidence is overestimating your abilities to the
Hmm.
extent that you're not aware of your strengths or weaknesses.
Hmm. So when we are bringing up children, how is it? How do we one facilitate building up confidence in children right from childhood? Because invariably when a child is born and after they are growing up, all the parents, they are telling him, don't do this, don't do this, I told you not to do this, you will fall down, you will hurt yourself, don't put your hand in the fire, don't get wet, you will get fever. It is always don't do, don't do, don't do. At one point the child will say, if everything is don't do, what am I supposed to do? So how do we build up a confidence in children, especially when they are growing up, in those days?
So it's a good question actually, and a lot of us as parents want to build up, strong children on the one hand. On the other hand, we want to keep them safe, so we add so many don'ts.
Yeah.
So I would like you to think of the definition of confidence, which is a token collection of the things that you do well.
Yeah.
So if I were a parent, I mean, I am a parent, I would tell my child, you are doing good in this. So here, in this case, it is external validation for the child. Parent is a very huge authority figure. The child believes implicitly. There is no question. So
Yes.
parent has a lot of power to build up whatever the parent sees good in the child. So the
Hmm.
child writes well, you have a good handwriting. So that gets internalized. You're
Yeah.
speaking well. You spoke well in front of the guest.
Yeah.
See, so you're accumulating account balance in the account. Let me talk of finance language. You're accumulating balance in the account, right?
Yeah.
In the credit account.
Yeah.
Till one day when somebody says you can't speak, don't take up this role, the child can decide for itself. My credit is better than my debit. Maybe
Yeah.
2 times I didn't speak well, but 10 times I spoke, and I remember my parent also told me that will build up the credit. So
Yes.
that will give the confidence. This is how you develop confidence from a young age,
Yeah.
and encourage the child to try, and always have open dialogue with the child. If you say don't do, the child, today's children at least are not going to listen. You can ask them, what do you think
Yeah.
will happen if you
Yes.
do? What will happen if you don't? Let the child figure it out.
Yeah.
And if the child wants the experience of the consequence, that's fine. I mean, up
Yes.
to a point. So
Yeah.
if you are that kind of a parent, the
Yeah.
child will definitely listen to you for the riskier things.
Yeah. You spoke about children not listening to you, and I remember when we were growing up, and I'm sure this is a story of every person and every child when they were growing up, especially when mom used to be in the kitchen and she used to be on the stove or on the gas, and we always try to put our hands in, and then she used to tell a story. There was a child who did not listen to his mother, and then he put his hand in the fire and his hand got burned, so you should not put your hand in the fire. Nothing doing, you will still put your hand in the fire, and unless you still don't get that feeling of a burnt finger or a burnt hand, you will never know the meaning of fire. So many times children have that, that inquisitiveness, or they will not listen to you. And this is also another way of building up confidence. Unless you've never experienced that, you will never understand the concept of fire, or what is a burnt finger, or what is a burnt hand. So children by that are, inquisitive, and they will always rebel. They will want to do what you tell them not to do. At what point does confidence there then tell the child, the child is internally wanting to grow, he or she is inquisitive. So there are some children who are really, outgoing. They would love and meet with people, they would want to stand up and talk. And there are those shy and reserved types who are always, not wanting. They all want to be, pushed a little. Only then they will stand up and sing or talk or tell us a story, or what did you do in class today. Is confidence different in both of them, or that's the way they are born, that's the DNA inside them, so it will take them time to become a little bit more confident?
So let me take the example of myself and my daughter. Okay, so I am very outgoing. and I like to speak to people, but she is very introverted. She is mostly silent. Okay. Does it mean that she is not confident?
Hmm.
No. When people talk to her, she is able to answer well. She may not
Yeah.
initiate a conversation, but she is able to answer the conversation.
Yeah.
So that is one. But everybody is different, right? Confidence is not shown by being outgoing. So that is the whole premise of my book.
Yeah.
That you need not be outgoing, extroverted to showcase yourself as a confident person, a leader, because confidence is not measured by outward things. It is what you show within you that showcases your confidence to people. So
Wonderful.
it's all right if you are an extrovert or you are an introvert. What
Yeah.
you have inside you is what defines you. Basically.
Yes, this is really interesting. Confident is not measured on how outgoing you are. It's probably what is there inside you, and if picked correctly, then it will probably come out much better than a person who's probably trying to show off. So
Yeah.
Sonali has raised the hand. Sonali, go ahead and unmute yourself and ask or say what you want to do.
Right. Hi, good afternoon, everyone.
Good
Good afternoon,
afternoon.
Chimmu. Good afternoon,
Hi.
sir. Hi, Payal. Sorry, I'm not on camera.
No
So
problem.
just
Please ask your
excuse me.
question.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So my question is like, in one of the recent PTM meetings, one of the child, when she came with her mother, I saw that, I mean, I went as a parent. So the teacher said she is very inquisitive. She keeps asking questions and her question doesn't stop. So in a way, I felt very happy that, she should ask questions and we encourage children to be curious.
Yeah.
Then her mother immediately said, oh, she's like that only at home also. She doesn't stop. She keeps asking, why like this, why like that, and it doesn't stop. So I did, say a sentence that it's very good, and that she's curious, don't stop her, and all that. Retrospectively, I felt that, is there a demarcation, or uh, I mean, what I'm trying to ask is, is there a line when it's too much of asking, is whether she's not feeling satisfied by those answers, or it's just a habit that keep asking, like that movie of Paresh Rawal, no, why he has a question mark on his head, and
Yes,
Judai,
he had a
and
question mark here
mark,
beside
yes,
his head. Yes,
he keeps asking. So
yes, yes.
what kind of behavior it generates, and what would you like to comment on this, Chimo, is my
Over to you,
question.
Chimmu.
Okay, so I'm no child psychologist, but from what I heard, I can just surmise. It seems like it may be that she likes the limelight and she wants the limelight, and so she does that by asking questions. If that is the case, one should recognize that and tell her that there are other ways to get your answers.
Yeah.
If she is genuinely curious and wants to know, also, it is good to educate her on how to get answers herself.
Yes.
Today, we have internet and kids have access to their mom's phones. Tell me how many moms don't give their phones to kids to keep them occupied. So, it is a safe way to teach her to also redirect her inquisitiveness into other areas. So this is
Wonderful. Dr. Sandhya Patil, go ahead, unmute yourself.
just on the sample. 1 minute. Sonali, I hope that answers your
Yeah.
question.
Yes, yes, thank you.
I
Thanks.
think Dr. Sandhya will add to that. Yes, go ahead, Dr. Sandhya.
Yes, I feel one of the reasons the child may be asking too many questions, as you rightly said, she may want attention, but then the parents or the elders in the family need to look at it that there is something missing in the attention that they're giving to the child. That's also important,
Yeah, yeah. Since we
isn't
are
it?
talking, yeah, see, I mean, since we are
Okay,
talking
okay.
about children and a little bit about overconfidence or inquisitiveness, I mean, when we were children, and I'm talking of 40 plus years ago, there never was a classification as such. We were children, there were 50, 60 of us in class. We gave exams, one person came first and one person came last. That is all we did. Now we are going to, at a deep level, trying to find out child psychology, what he likes, what she doesn't like. Is he an introvert, extrovert, where he should be sitting, whom he should be talking with, what he should not be doing? So probably, I mean, I'm just throwing a question. Are we overdoing this, or this is just process of evolution?
So if you ask me, I think, what has happened from 40, 60 years ago to today is one, the number of children have reduced per family. and it has become nuclear families. So
Yeah.
the parents have only that one kid to worry about,
Yes.
and
Yes.
social pressure also comes into play.
Yes.
That's my take on it.
Yeah. Dr. Sandhya, you would like to add?
Yes. Was I audible when I was speaking last?
Yes, yes, we can hear you. Yeah.
Yeah, I think there's also one thing. What has happened is the current generation parents, in an attempt to make it, in an attempt to give the child the best, they
Yeah.
are missing out on not giving the child a lot of experiences.
Yes.
So, because of that, I mean, what has made us strong, we are letting the child not experience the same thing. Because of that, we are actually, the children are missing out on growing of some part of their personality. So, I think
Yeah.
as parents, as seniors, we need to understand that somewhere let the child learn on its or her own.
Yes. Yes. Thank you for sharing your inputs. Let's go back to Chimmu and talk about confidence again. So, does confidence or probably overconfidence create ego? And at what point do you actually tell a person, especially if they are close to you, that you reached a level where you are probably a little bit egoistic? Confidence is good, but ego is bad. How does that work?
So first of all, let's look at ego. So what is ego? Ego is our perception of ourselves, which is actually necessary for us because with our ego, we identify ourselves as a person. Now come to confidence. What is confidence? It is our trust in our belief and our competence or our knowledge that we can handle anything.
Yeah.
Now, when ego comes first, when our sense of self comes first in any interaction, now we may misuse or we may feel that ego is hurt. Ego gets hurt very fast
Yeah.
with all silly, silly things. Okay.
Yeah.
If I'm waiting 5 minutes also for the customer service person to come to me, I get annoyed. Why should I wait? So that is ego coming into play.
Yes.
So there is a point where if ego becomes big, like I feel my importance of myself is too much, that I become overconfident. So
Yes.
that could lead to overconfidence or
Yeah.
arrogance.
Yeah.
But ego is by itself is not good or bad. It is what we need to identify ourselves as a human being. That is who we interface ourselves between our inside and outside world. The ego is a kind of a bridge.
Yeah. So again, the second part of the question: if you find a person who is egoistic, I mean, and probably they are close to you, a friend or a family, how do you actually speak to them and tell them, you reached a point where what you are saying or what you are talking or where you're speaking is more egoistic and less confidence? How do we help them improve or probably climb down from that high pedestal where they are?
So, what happens when a person has a very sensitive or a bigger ego? Everything we say or anything it rains also personally, it's insulting to them. So they attach the outcome of everything to themselves. So
Yes.
one way we can say is please detach, take a step back. Is it so catastrophic that that other person in your meeting was 5 minutes late? It's not. They are not insulting you, so
Hmm.
take a step back, detach.
Yeah.
Don't think that everything is happening because of you. That person genuinely may be late for a reason. There are so many reasons.
Yeah.
So that is one way we can actually advise them. But after that, advice is advice. They should be able to take it and do it, or look
Yes.
at it in a better way.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, let's take this to the other extreme. If there is somebody who is overconfident, really, really confident, and then they are really, really humble, is that possible? I mean, can you be humble and really confident?
Yes, yes. So what is confidence? Let me go back to that. Confidence is your belief in your abilities, right? Now,
Yes.
if I ask Deepak anything about finance, your confidence is over the roof because you know it, you have done it, you have lived it, you teach it. It is like a breath to you. So that is your level of confidence.
Yeah.
But at the same time, will anybody say Deepak is very arrogant because he knows this? No. You are very humble because you live, it's your attitude. An attitude of gratitude is what keeps us humble. And as
Yes.
far as I know about you, Deepak, you are not at all arrogant. You are very humble and very approachable. So, see, that is So it is possible to be, even Albert Einstein, but still be humble. And humbleness is through gratitude, by living in
Yes.
an attitude of gratitude daily. And that is what I always advise.
Yeah. So, humbleness, gratitude, and confidence. If you find that in one person, you probably found the best person. Maybe your partner, maybe your family member, maybe even a friend, or even a corporate or an office colleague. That would be a great part of finding a person. So, how does confidence or consequently overconfidence affect relationships?
Okay, again, what is overconfidence? It is an overestimation of our abilities.
Yeah.
So if we overestimate what we can do, promise, deliver, then what will happen? We will under deliver, under promise, not keep up to it. And
Yes.
definitely that affects every aspect of our relationships,
Yes.
personal, professional, and everywhere. Wherever we go, we will, if we overestimate ourselves and say,
Hmm.
I'll be there in 10 minutes, but not realizing that the traffic signal itself takes 10 minutes, then
Hmm.
takes another 10 minutes for parking. So
Yes.
you're overestimating. Then what happens? You become late. So your
Hmm.
overconfidence has actually diminished your image in front of everybody's eyes, right? You are late.
Yes. Yes.
So that's how it affects.
Yeah. So, when you are helping people become confident or overcome their inherent, you know, for want of a better word, their things, their doubts, their negative feelings. How do you help such people? And give us a few examples of people who you helped. Probably one or two in the corporate space, and one or two maybe in the family or friends space.
Yeah, sure. So again, I will repeat. In this book, I write three things that causes the low confidence. Okay. One is, it's not that all of us lack confidence. It's only that when the event or circumstance so happens that we lose our faith or our ability in ourselves to
Yes.
handle that situation. And that's when we have low confidence. So when
Yeah.
there is a change
Yeah.
in our lives,
Yeah.
when there is something that calls for lack of space. Okay. So now today Deepak is a very respected member. Tomorrow in one group I'll ask Deepak sing or dance. You may not want to do it because you feel I will lose space, my image will go. So there also you'll lack confidence.
Yeah.
It's not that you can't do it. It's this perception will stop you from doing. So that
Yes.
is one. And the third one is when there is so many things happening, like during COVID, if, for example, everything merged, right?
Yes.
Housework, office work, in the
Yes.
housework,
Yes.
everything merged and people could not cope. It became very overwhelming. When
Yes.
I'm sitting for meeting, the kids are crying here, the maid is not there. I have to only do. And people are waiting and so many
Yes.
things, right? It becomes
Yes.
very overwhelming. That also when we lose our confidence.
Yeah.
So I will give one example of a coaching client of mine. So she was very timid, like she didn't want to speak up in meetings. She felt like nobody wants to hear what I say. I'm not outgoing. What will I do?
Yeah.
So I worked with her, and she is in a team, right? In weekly team meetings. I wanted her to, or even her boss also wanted her to open up because how do we know what you're doing unless you tell, you know?
Yes.
So I worked with her. She actually took the help of her boss who called her name in the meeting. Usually everyone raises their hand, they talk, the people who are loud get talked over, and usually only those people get heard. Those
Yes.
who are timid to even raise their hand, then their hand goes down and they lose
Yes.
all that
Yeah.
courage.
Yeah.
So she asked her team lead, you call me, then only I can speak. I am not able to do on my own. So like that, she started and that's how she built up her confidence. That is in the workspace. At home, I told about my daughter. So
Yes.
no amount of me telling her is going to make a difference because mother, no, you're biased. So
Yes.
I had her join Toastmasters. So at the time, it was a in-person meeting. Now she was 18 and everybody else is an adult and older to her.
Oh.
So immediately she is in the world of adults and she has to talk to them like adults. So
Hmm.
it took time. Over a period of time with lot of encouragement, she even became the president of the club.
Wonderful.
That means we should learn how to talk to people as an adult, not think that I'm a student, I'm a child, I can't do this. So
Yes.
that process, right, took 2 years.
Yeah.
That process really shaped her and she built up so much confidence in herself.
Yeah.
Now she can talk to anybody. She is still introverted, she is still very shy, but she has confidence to talk to anybody.
Wonderful, wonderful. This is really, really a good example. Again, organizations like Toastmasters or wherever you are being groomed by a coach or a mentor, somebody like Chimmu is giving you that confidence to, the ability to multiply your confidence, the ability to say what you want to say, the ability to move from shyness into openness, the ability to move from childhood, to adults, where in 2 years a person joins a club and then becomes the president of that Toastmasters Club. Wonderful. Great sharing. Thank you, Chimmu. Yes, Sonali wants to say something. Go ahead.
Yes, I just want to add what Chimu has mentioned about, that negative feeling, or when she mentioned what is confidence about.
Yeah.
Quickly, I'll share something. I mean, most of them don't believe this, being from defense background and all, but I faced this in one of the particular years while I was not working. One of my relatives, she kept telling me I'm good for nothing and, I do nothing. And my confidence was bought at bottom, and
Yeah.
I was in a state where I would never come out and do something
Wow.
while I had done so much till then. So
Yes.
this impacts a lot our environment, or the way people, talk to us. So
Yes.
as Chimu was talking about it, I just wanted to share this.
Yes.
And
Yes.
thanks.
Wonderful. Wonderful, Sonali, for
And
sharing
I
that. And
totally agree with you,
yeah.
Sonali. May I,
Yeah.
Deepak?
Yeah. No, no. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Chimmu. Go
Uh,
ahead.
So, especially homemakers, right, who are not working, they face a lot of low confidence because they have not faced the situation. They've been in the house for a long time. Suddenly, they need to go to the bank. They are so unsure of who they are, and the way they speak. Because I was in the bank, I know, right? When I see a person coming, the way they open their mouth and speak, only I know where they are in the level of
Yeah.
confidence. So it makes, and everything, no, their interactions also change. If you are so timid that you don't know what to ask, the person who you are facing also will treat you like that.
Yes.
So the amount of confidence that you project also changes the way relationships, interactions happen to you.
Yes. And since you spoke about being in the bank, Chimmu, and then clearly you were client facing, you were facing the people who are walking into the bank. Within the bank or within any organizational structure, I'm sure they see to it that people who exude confidence, who are a little bit more, in good in their interpersonal skills or talkative with people. These are the people who get the client-facing jobs. The jobs where you are sitting right in front, where the customer is walking right into the bank. And probably those who are not so confident are given back office jobs where they are not really getting in touch with clients. Does it actually happen like that? Is that how it works?
Actually, as far as I know, it's not like that. It is a rotation system. Everybody needs to, if you get into a service industry, whether you sit at the back or in the front, you have to face the client. Maybe some roles are more client facing than others.
Yeah.
But what happens is it does not matter really if you are an extrovert or introvert, like I told you.
Yeah.
Once you get into the bank, that knowledge that you have, right, that is what helps you to be more confident.
Yeah.
So it just reminds me of one of my clients. He was in this role of being a investment advisor for VIP clients. Okay, now he's fairly junior. His VIP clients are all, first they'll be senior, next they'll be very
HNIs.
wealthy.
Yeah.
Plus, they will have knowledge which he may
Yes.
not have.
Yeah.
And he could not talk to them. He was so scared, and he felt that whatever they say is right. He got that pedestal syndrome, which I call keeping a person with authority above you
Hmm.
automatically.
Hmm.
Authority, seniority, wealth, age, whatever it is, keeping them above you. So he thought
Yeah.
whatever they are saying is correct and I'm wrong. So I had to work with him to make him understand that they are coming to you
Yeah.
for your knowledge. They are not
Yes.
above you, you are not below them. You have to
Yes.
meet them equally.
Yeah.
They are your client and you are there to serve them. So once I shifted that, no, it's not about him or his age, it is about his service, his knowledge that they want.
Hmm.
That really boosted his confidence and he was able to talk so much better and he is doing very well now.
Yeah. I mean, it's just that shift, that mindset shift. Somebody needs to recognize that. help you and then help you shift over, and then you are probably a totally a different person and you are in a different league altogether. So again, the question which comes over here is, how do you reach out to somebody whom you want to meet as an advisor or a coach or a mentor? Today Chimmu as a confidence multiplier is known to people probably in Toastmasters or in her bank or probably in the other circles. Let's say somebody somewhere sitting in a remote corner of India wants is looking for a person like you. How does he or she find out that there is Chimmu Kutty who is a confidence multiplier? What is important for people like you, me, or everybody else who are good in their field to project ourselves? Should we announce it on social media? Should we make a no, shout on the top of the roofs that this is what I'm doing, I can help you? How does that work?
So now we come to the conundrum of social media. So what is social media? It is to let people know things.
Yes.
But what things? Today, if I don't talk about myself, nobody is going to talk about.
Indeed.
So I should become my own PR person.
Yes.
So there are two things here. One is being too overconfident or arrogant and pushing yourself forward. The
Yeah.
other is in a very humble, nice way to showcase your knowledge,
Yes.
that people know that, see, you are there for them. So
Yeah.
I would advise looking at LinkedIn, or my website is there. I'm sure even you have a website. Or if they put the keyword search, they will get
Yeah.
our names will turn up. But once they turn up, how do they know what they need? We
Yes.
have to tell them, right?
Yeah.
So today it becomes our responsibility to tell our clients what we offer, so that if they find us a match, they will connect with us. It is not a
Yes.
question of being arrogant or prideful or ego. It's a question
Yeah.
more of practicalness. How do I share
Yes.
what I want to the world so that I can
Yeah.
help more people?
Yeah. At what point in your life, especially when you decided that I want to give up this banking job, you shared that story, at what time does a person decide, this is enough, and then why does a person do it? I mean, what made you shift from what you were doing to do something which you were probably never thought of doing, or did you have actually planned it out? Now, I know my expertise. I like helping people becoming more confident. Banking is not my forte. Let me move over here. How does that happen?
It's a very good question. So I want to actually ask you to think of, all of us think of receiving some award, right? At some
Yes.
time or the other. We all dream, I want this award, that award. So how does it come? We see the award somewhere and it comes into our mind. And we imagine ourselves on that stage receiving that award. We even have a long list. I thank my mother, father, grandmother, village, everything. We have all that also ready. So we
Yes.
keep on playing it in our mind.
Yeah.
So everything that we create in the outer world, we first test drive it in our
In the inner
imagination.
world, yes.
So the more we do this, the more real it becomes.
Yeah.
Okay. So now think about me wanting to quit the bank. Or let's think about the award itself. Let's say the award is for speaking or dancing or writing an exam.
Hmm.
Whenever, even that exam, right? If you have taken up the exam, in your mind's eye, you have seen that certificate that the exam is done, you have passed with kind of flying colors.
Yeah.
So that is your self image.
Yeah.
Okay. Your self image you have built up with this already happening. Now, the other half of this is self belief. What is self belief? It is building up your capabilities, competence, knowledge, so
Hmm.
that at one point, what happens is your self belief equals your self image.
Yeah.
And then you take knowledge, you take action, and you apply for that exam. At
Yeah.
that point, when you do it, right, you are ensured of success.
Yeah.
It is two halves. One is self-image, where we test drive everything. Yeah, I can test drive anything. I can test drive paragliding. I can test drive deep diving, going on the moon, anything. But the more I resonate with things, depending on my abilities, capabilities, where I want to go in life, only those things will
Hmm.
come through. And when I believe that I can do it, that's when I take action. So self-belief should equal self-image.
Yeah. Wonderful. So you first manifest it inside yourself, play it inside your head, watch yourself getting that award or the certificate. Then you stand up and decide, this is it. Now this is what I want to do. This is what life is taking me to where. Now we've got two very senior people in the room. There is Brenda. Brenda, can you hear us? If we could see you. and one is Ram Prasad Lalji. I have a question for both of them. There's Ram Prasad ji. So Ram Prasad ji, as we all know, is our scientist friend from Antarctica. He's been there multiple times. And my question to him would be, the very first time somebody lands up in a continent like Antarctica, where, I mean, it is inhospitable, and then you are staying a few hundred probably meters below the surface, even though all that it is designed in a way to keep you comfortable. But being away from family, being enclosed in this place, does it shatter your confidence? How does it affect you as a person? Does a person coming out after doing a visit like this, and you've been there multiple times, does it affect your confidence? How does it work? And just share a few stories of what happened to a few of your other co-employees who were there.
Yes, sir. First, in 1985, I met the few people who has returned from Antarctica after wintering. It was their second wintering, and they have this horrible stories. So in the winter, because that time the station Dakshin Gangotri was in the ice, and the station was sinking inside the ice.
Oh.
So that way, so then when I tried in 90, then we have another station built on the rock. So those problems were not there, but still those stories were in my mind that the life is not very good there.
Yeah.
You have to tackle so many things.
Yes. So in such places, after hearing such stories, how does one build that confidence and stay with that confidence, knowing nahi sab theek hoga, nothing is going to happen, we will be victorious, we will conquer, and then
Yes,
we
sir.
will come back. Yeah.
So when I went there, first I wanted to go only for summer, because I know in summer there 2 months journey, 1 month going, 1 month coming back, 2 months staying there, and temperature will be not so low, there will be -5, -10, that is manageable.
Manageable.
But I was not selected for summer team. My director general one day called me, and he told that I want you should go to Antarctica for wintering. And I told, sir, if office want to send me, I can go. He told, nothing office want to send you. You have to volunteer. I am giving you 2 minute time. In 2 minutes, you decide whether you want to go or not.
Wow.
The heat of moment, I told, yes, I will go.
Yes.
So that is the confidence you develop from inside.
Yes.
That, okay, now this is challenge before me and I will go. And after 3 years, I met Director General again in a debriefing. Yes. And what he told once Director General tells that he wants, but it is not a question, it is an order.
It is
and
an order.
You keep it in mind in your entire your career, that when Director General says that I want, then it means it is order.
It's his order. In the heat of the moment, you decided to go to a cold continent, Antarctica.
Yes. So,
Wonderful.
but after going in, I found that it was worth going for wintering.
Yes.
Because you have already met the people who are already spent 1 year there.
Yes.
So that builds your confidence by seeing the others are happy, so you will be also happy.
Yes.
So
you build confidence by meeting people who've been there and done that. Then you go yourself, you do it, and then you work on it, and then say, yes, this is doable. I can do this. That is why I can do this once, maybe even twice or even thrice.
Yes.
Wonderful, Ram Prasad sir. Thank you for sharing. Brenda, Brenda is a job search coach, and she helps people find jobs. How important is confidence for people who are applying for jobs, who are going for interviews, and how does it affect their mindset and even their chances?
It is absolutely the one thing after communication. It is the one thing that decides actually whether you're going to get the job. And when we say confidence, it is like she's explained it very well. Confidence is just the positive belief that you have been given everything to do the job, that you are enough, that you have come into this world and you've been given all the skills to navigate life. It becomes ego. I mean, overconfidence also, I think there's a big difference. It's not just when confidence gets beyond a point, it becomes ego. No, confidence comes from the fact that you have a certain belief that everything you do is not entirely dependent on yourself.
Yeah.
There is an element of humility built into it. That's why you can take feedback, etc. The moment you ego is the just the opposite. It is saying that, this, you are the one who controls your life. You are the one who, everything depends on you, and the reins of your life are in your hand. So then there is no gratitude. So it is, the two are very, very different. And I think for a person who's looking for a job, that is the biggest, I should say, they say that going for an interview, the thing that people fear the most, of course, is death. The
Yeah.
second is public speaking, and the third is interviewing. So it is a very, very, especially when you, in today's very volatile market, which is overcrowded, and the job positions are less, people face a lot of rejection.
Yes.
So when that rejection comes, it is that their inner sort of confidence, which cannot be shaken, which comes to their resilience, which comes to their aid, the belief that, and of course they have to do a lot of work. That's why do we have mindfulness practices and
Yes.
yoga and
Yes.
exercise? Not so much. What is the purpose of yoga? It is not an exercise. The yoga is only to let go of the ego. That's it. So when you're doing these kind of things, that also helps them in in giving up, in building, keeping their confidence, realizing that there is another force apart from their, within them, from which their success has come. And confidence is really is the memory of success. So every time you succeed, your confidence keeps going up. So I think that it is very important. But at the same time, there are some times when people, you realize immediately that something has put you down. It could be even family. Okay, like my family, I had that problem myself when, it just so happens that in our family, people are, above average in intelligence, and everybody is sort of a PhD. So, and a very good public speakers, whereas I was quite introverted. So my father would say, nobody will give her a job. And that's the reason why I did not go for for post graduation, even though I had topped the Sophia College and and got the gold medal.
Wow.
Because anyway, if they're not going, if they, you're not going to get a job, and people thought at that time that philosophy is a useless subject. Why waste my father's money? So I just said, let me. But still, the confidence was there within me. So I said, okay, whatever has been said, in the house for very long. But let me go and give it a try. So I went to 10, 15 companies and applied and got every single job.
Wow. And I'll come back to you, Brenda, on a question. I want to ask this to Chimmu first, and then I will ask you the same question.
I've gone on for too long. I was, I'm just resting, so I'm forgetting that.
Just a minute. In just a minute, I will come back to you, because you work with very, very tall and very big leaders in your corporate career. And my question to Chimmu is, and I'll come back to Dr. Sandhya also. Chimmu, is there a direct correlation between confidence and leadership? Are all leaders confident, or all confident people leaders?
Okay. So confidence is something which is within you, right? It's your, again, I'm repeating this because I want to show the distinction. It is your belief in your ability to handle whatever comes your way.
Yeah.
Leadership is taking the initiative, basically. Leadership skills can be learned.
Yeah.
So many of us are thrust into leadership roles without even realizing it. Suddenly, you become head of a family.
Yes.
You have to take leadership roles. You become a
Yes.
parent. You have to take decisions. That is a leadership role at its basic. So if you are a leader, it just means that you have to take decisions and you have to be sure or believe that the decisions that you take are the right decisions.
Yes.
So for that leadership, you can develop so many skills. Listening skills, being open to feedback, being humble, being in a state of gratitude, which does not diminish your value in any way. It
Correct.
just shows you up as a person who has knowledge, but who is willing to listen to others before taking a decision. Simply, that is leadership.
Yes.
And every one of us will have faced a leadership role, which I am saying in this way,
Yes.
it at any time and or many times in our lives.
Yeah. So, Brenda, you worked with really tall leaders, you know, a lot of big names. Do you feel all of them were confident enough to be leaders, or it is that leadership which brought the confidence into them?
It's a bit of both, I would say.
Yeah.
But one thing in my experience is the best leaders are always humble.
Yeah.
Very humble. They're willing to listen to you. They're willing to listen to anybody, and that's what sort of makes them stand out. And that's what makes them, in my whole sort of career, I have seen maybe one or two at the most. One, I would say, where the leadership and humility did not go together. And
Hmm.
in those both those cases, the leader did not go to the highest level of the chairman.
Hmm.
Although, in fact, he was brought here for that position, it's just that ego that did not let him reach that position.
Yeah.
So I
Wonderful,
think
wonderful.
the two go together actually. A good
Yes.
leader is always a humble person.
Yes.
So you have to
Very well said. Very well
everybody
said.
along with you. You have to take other people's views. You have to take, you have to be able to put yourself, uh, because you're there to develop better leaders than you, right?
Yes.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
And
Dr.
you
Sandhya.
think of anybody, just see, J.R.D. Tata was such an example.
Yeah.
I'll never forget my interactions with him. What
Yes.
a humble person.
Yes. Yes, Dr. Sandhya, you wanted to say something. Go ahead. We can't hear you, Dr. Sandhya.
Now,
Yeah, better. Yes. Yes.
now,
Better now. Yeah.
okay, I put it on the speaker.
Yes.
I feel confidence and body language have a close relationship. I always tell people that at times when you do not feel confident, try to remember the moment when you are very confident and try to inculcate those body language in the moment that you're not confident. That
Yes.
is as per reverse psychology. So slowly, you will start feeling confidence. It's
Yeah.
like you fake it till you make it,
Yes.
not just you fake it till you make it, fake it till you become it. So that is the way. And I say this from my own personal experience, because there was a time when I was absolutely introvert. I went from a phase of being an absolute introvert to a person who used to speak a lot, and then I kind of came back to balance myself.
Yeah.
So I think that's
So
how
I
it works.
totally agree with you here, Dr. Sandhya. In fact, Amy Cuddy, I don't know if you have heard of her, she's done a TED talk,
One.
and she did research on this body language and confidence. And interestingly, Brenda, they conducted this experiment on candidates before they went to the interview.
Hmm.
So they observed candidates how they sit before the interview, and they selected a few and told them this is a power pose. When you stand with your hands on your hips,
Yes.
that's a power pose. So
Yes.
they told a few people, they showed them some power poses, standing like this, sitting back with your one leg on top. How men sit usually, like one leg on top. So those are all
Yeah.
power poses, sitting forward like this. They are
Yeah.
all power poses. So they had one set of candidates do it just for 30 seconds each, and the other set they had them sit in non-power poses, like closed
Yes.
body language.
Yes.
And if you're actually covering your throat, you're very, very, very insecure. So they had that, and then they went to the interview. The interview panel did not know who did what, and they asked them
Hmm.
questions, and
Hmm.
the results turned out to be that those who did the power poses, they actually were able to speak better, and they felt that their confidence increased. So yes, there is definitely a correlation between body language and confidence. And if any of you are facing an interview, please stand in the power pose, hands on hips, just for a few minutes, and stare straight ahead. Look at your audience with full command. That's enough for you to, build yourself and your confidence.
So, Payal, remember this. Whenever you are calling any other guest for our next shows, tell them to first do a power pose and then. Over to you, Payal. You want to say something or ask?
Yes, definitely. Deepak's a wonderful hosting. Namaste, everyone. Thank you for joining us on a very auspicious and festive occasion. Chimmu, it's an honor to have you on Bloom platform and very insightful and enriching talk today. We listen to you. We look forward for yet another master class very soon in near future. And what else I can say? All the questions Deepak sir आपने तो बोल ही लिया. I have one question for Chimmu. You have already authored 2 books. Any in future are you going to author next book? Any topic which you have researched on besides
Yes,
conflict?
absolutely. I am in the process of putting together my third book, and I hope to release it soon. I have started writing, but I have thoughts of doing my third book. So what I am really passionate about now is something which I coined living an aligned life. How do you live a life which is aligned to who you are, being authentic and living your values? So this is what I would be writing about in my next book, because you don't speak of values. Our values are not like mission and vision statements. You live values. So this is what I would be writing about, I think, as of now. Sneak peek.
Looking forward to read it soon. Thank you once again, and God bless you all. Deepak sir, over to you.
Thank you, Payal. Thank you for those blessings for everybody. A great day, a great topic, a great speaker, great interaction, question and answers from Dr. Sandhya, Brenda, and Sonali, and of course our very own Chimmu Kutty from PSAI. Thank you for taking time out. It's an hour since we've been speaking, and time just flies by. We also have our family waiting for us to have lunch with them. So thank you everybody for joining in. Thank you for taking out the time. Do not forget to join us next Sunday on the 213th non-stop Sunday Bloom Talk Show. Till then, see you. God bless us all. Bye and thank you
Namaskar,
again.
namaskar.
Thank you
Namaskar,
so
Ram
much,
Prasad ji.
Deepak and Payal. Thank you.
Thank you.